Hello, this is Bharti. Welcome to our BBS EdTech YouTube channel. Today I will be explaining about HTML class and HTML ID attributes, how you can use them, and how you can use them in your code, how you can call a class, and you can define properties like defining the color or changing the font. Also, how you can call an ID and change the color or change the text. Okay, you can do that using the class. How you can do that using class and ID attribute. So in HTML, the class is an attribute that specifies one or more class name for an HTML element. So the class attribute can be used on any HTML element of whatever you need. And the class name can be used for CSS and JavaScript to perform certain tasks for element with specified class name. So if you have specific properties which you want to be defined in a class, that is where the class attribute comes into the picture, and same goes with the ID, right? Okay. So the difference between the class and ID is that if you want to target multiple tags under multiple tags, that time we use the class attribute. And if you want to specifically target any one specific thing, that time we use the ID attribute. Okay. So let's start. Here I'll be showing you how I have called the class and I have used the defined the properties. Okay. So basically, at first I have created three folders: index.html, script.js, and style.css. Okay. So for today's session, we are not working on the script.js because we are not using JavaScript here anywhere. Let's start with the index.html. So what I have done is, the first is the class example. So let's start it. So it starts from here. You have defined the doc type HTML, and we have HTML tag, and then we have the head tag under which I have called the style.css file under here. I have defined it externally, that is, I have created the CSS properties under style.css, and I have called this file under my head tag. Okay. And then we have opened our body tag. Okay. And then we have a div tag I have used and defined a class named as city, under which I have defined the city London, and I have defined it using h2 tag. Under that I have defined paragraph tag and defined a small paragraph under which, and then I have closed my div tag, and then again I open my another div tag, and I have used the same class name, that is city, and then define the city Paris, define the paragraph about it, and then div is close. The same thing I have defined another div tag, use the same class attribute, use the same class name, and define Tokyo. Okay. And then, so for the same part, for the class, that is dot city, I have used background color as orange, which is we have white, that is text color we have white, and border is 2 pixel, solid black, margin is 20 pixel, and padding I have provided as 20 pixel again. So let's check the output for this. So the output for this is this first one. So you can clearly see I have defined three div tags. So what we have under three div tags, the first city was London, the second was Paris, and third was Tokyo. So again, since it is three div tags are there, so we have padding and margin defined for all the div tags. Okay, since I have used the same class name everywhere, so the properties which I have defined, you can see the properties are defined for the class. Okay, and I have used the same class name for all the three cities. That is the reason I am getting the background color as what I have defined, right? So let's check it. Let's check it out. Let's play a little with it. So I'll go over to index folder. I will change this class name from city to, let's change it to state. Okay. Let's save it and let's check the output. As you can see, the properties which I have defined, everything has vanished. Why? Because we are not defining any CSS properties for that particular state. Okay. So let's go to style.css and then let's call the class, call the class, and then let's in the background color as blue. Now let's check it. As you can see, there is a background color. And since we have not provided any padding or any margin, you cannot see any padding and margin on the third div tag. Okay. That is how you can use the class property, and that is how you can change the properties of the class, and that is the use of the class attribute. Okay. Next, let's go and see how we can call the ID attribute. So the class attribute is called using a dot. Okay, so whenever you are putting the dot under anywhere, if you are defining it internally, externally, or in internally or externally, we have to call it as we have to call them through dot. So dot is used to call the class attribute. Okay. So same thing goes with ID. For ID, I have given this example as you can see. So for h1 tag, I have used ID as my header, and then I have defined a content inside that. So how we can call this one in style.css, that is using the hash symbol. So hash symbol is used to call an ID. Okay, so I have called the ID my header and I have defined few properties for this here. So let's check what is happening. So yeah, this is the one. And I have defined background color as light blue, and then color of the text is black, and that is how I have called the ID attribute. Okay. So that's it for today's class. It was a short class showing you how you can use the class and ID attribute, how you can call the class and ID attribute in your style.css, and how you can link up them. And that's it for today's class. Please like our videos, subscribe, and share it with your friends if you find it helpful. We'll be coming up with more informative videos in our next classes. So thank you.